What up guys, it is Justice here and welcome to a brand new video on my channel regarding the latest boss to come into the game, Araxxor. And Araxxor flipping heck, this has caused quite a few frustrations due to the KO ability it has when it's below 20k life points on phase 4. That's when it starts to get, I would say, difficult. I've got a few kills at Araxxor, again, not had much time this week due to work. However, I thought I'd take you right through a full Araxxor kill which I've gained. And at this point it was my fastest kill which I had so far. It wasn't that fast, it's about 12 minutes. The fastest I've got so far is 10 minutes, and again, I've not had loads of time to come here, so take that into consideration. I'm going to give you a few tips of what I've realised to do, taking you through this Araxxor kill. Alright, so I'm on phase 1, one of the easiest phases again. So you want to be using anticipation when you feel Araxxor is about to do another special attack. Now as you saw there, I used anticipate, and anticipate, it prevents Araxxor from bringing you into him when he uses his Cleave Attack. Now, Cleave, as you can see, Araxxor in the first phase has 3 main attacks he can do. It's either Cleave, the one which you just saw, it's Web, where he'll reflect all the damage taken towards him, and that will reflect the damage back onto you. And then the third one is where he'll cast a web and it'll actually trap you, and it'll be almost like a bleed effect but constant, very very fast bleed effect. And the way you get out of that basically is by just spamming the ground around you or spamming Araxxor, and that'll actually take you out of that trap. Now if you use Anticipate or Freedom right before that attack, then that'll allow you to break free from that web bleed effect attack which he has a lot quicker than if you didn't use Anticipate or Freedom. As you saw there, I almost killed myself. I am using Revolution again, guys, so I would recommend, especially when you're starting to learn, like I am to be honest, when you're starting out at this new boss, having Revolution on is extremely useful. Now as you saw there, I burnt down the web, and I'm actually going to the outer pathway on this Araxxor kill. And essentially what I do is when I get Araxxor down half of his life points, I'll usually start burning the web, and by which time I will usually have DPS'd Araxxor enough for myself to feel like, okay, it's about time to now go into phase 2. And I do try and get most of phase 1 out of the way in terms of getting Araxxor right down to 0 life points before moving on to phase 2, just so it makes it a little bit easier. So this is phase 2. As you can see, this is the outer pathway, completely so AFK. This one actually, gives you a bit of a breather really from having to concentrate so much. Very very easy. As you can see, when that golden bomb or the fiery bomb, which is cast out by Araxxor, which is he's currently attached to the roof somewhere, you know, like spiders do, crawling up there, being really creepy and all. And when that bomb obviously cascades out, you want to run towards the 3 bubbles that appear on the ground, which are actual eggs for his spider eggs basically. And if you put the bomb within those spider eggs, then they actually disappear. It actually kills them before they even get a chance to spawn. And I usually do that. Some people just leave them because they're not bothered, because it does tend to enrage Araxxor when you do that. But I tend to go to them anyway, so that's my tactic anyway. And again, these aren't you know, amazing tactics or anything. This is me just learning. I think this is like my second time here. Now when Araxxor does this, as you can see, he pointed to the left. When his legs went to the left there, when you're looking at him straight on, I pressed my left arrow key. Now by pressing the left arrow key, as you saw there, I actually dodged Araxxor, and you don't get hit anything. Now if you press the wrong arrow key, you get hit a 2.5k hit, and you have to do it more times basically. You have to dodge Araxxor a lot more often in order to get onto phase 3. Now if you do it correctly, it will only require 2 times in terms of dodging Araxxor's attack there. And if you do dodge it correctly, then you'll quickly move on to phase 3 rather than having to stay on this route for longer, which does get fairly boring after a while, and it does tend to slow up the kill a lot. So again, remember guys, this is the outer route, which I think is going to be changing on Saturday at midnight, around that time anyway. It changes every 4 days, I've heard this Araxxor rotation, where one of the paths close up and a new one opens. Now another mechanic within this outer path is the prayer switching mechanic. And this actually prepares you. It's very good rotation, this, to be honest, to start learning. And as you can see, I pressed the right key there and dodged Araxxor's attack going on to phase 3. But in this phase, you'll see the magic hit. You know when it's going to be a magic hit because it's like an acidic. It looks like a green, luminous, acidic attack. And when that's cascaded onto you, you want to be praying mage. You want to have your magic and range prayer up within your ability bar if you're ranging or maging. If you're actually meleeing Araxxor, which again, that'd be something which I'll make a video on in the future potentially when I'm skilled enough to be able to do that, which will come with time here. I've heard that you do need to have a melee and then a mage switch for that. But anyway, moving on, that's phase 4. But again, that's going to confuse you guys, so I'll try and keep this as simple as possible. So again, that's what I mean. On the outer pathway, you want to have your mage and range prayer because you will be switching between that. And you'll know when it's a range prayer because it's like a sort of like a cocoon sort of flying out at you, like a sort of grey colour, grey greenish colour. Nothing like the acidic one, completely different, and you'll see that on phase 4 as well. So on to phase 3. As you can see, these luminous green acidic sort of spider looking things, highly acidic spiders I think they're called, they are spawned by Araxxor within phase 3. And again, I usually tend to use the tactic of just leaving them until they all stack up. Maybe there's around 5 or 6 of them, and as you can see, I'm DPSing Araxxor very quickly here on phase 3. And I usually allow those highly acidic spiders just to stack up a little bit so I can lure them all around the same time before moving on to phase 4. Now you'll also notice it going dark now. Yeah, when you're on phase 2 in the outer pathway, when it goes dark, you would have saw me surging and running into the spotlights, and that does help on phase 2 so you don't get hit as much because it does invoke a bleed effect onto you if you're not within the light. Now phase 3, I don't bother with all that, and I will not bother going into the lights. It's not really worth it. You know, if you're experienced enough, you've got plenty of brews left and you can just brew up. But as you can see, Araxxor now has got loads of acid underneath him, and that's because I lured a few of the spiders underneath Araxxor. And the way you do that, you actually just click the highly acidic spider, the very green luminous ones, guys, and you just click that and it actually lures them, and it's almost like a provoke ability, but all you need to do is just click the little spiders and then just run into Araxxor, run around him, and also just make those spiders basically run underneath Araxxor, and they will be absorbed by Araxxor. And that's essentially the mechanics of this phase, guys. I hope that actually helped there. You'll see me attempting that right now, clicking the highly acidic spider and then moving underneath him, as you see there, and then it absorbed that spider there. See how it disappears? Now, again, whilst you're doing all this in phase 3, you've got to be very careful. See that range attack he's just cascaded, and it's just put a little sort of luminous bit of colour on the screen there. It's very hard to see and you won't see it now, but as you can see, that spider's coming towards me. That one is the one which will KO you. You've got to be so careful. Now, as soon as you see that ability come out, that range attack come out from Araxxor and hit the ground, it will go a green luminous colour. It's very hard to see though, guys, so you've got to be careful. But as soon as you see that attack, what I do is tend to just run away from where that spawn point is going to be, and therefore you don't need to worry about it because you've already noticed it. You won't forget, you know, if other things happening, just run away from that spawn point, so by which time that spider can't even reach you. And that's the tactic I tend to use. So as you can see, I'm just trying to DPS Araxxor down now, ready to go into phase 4, guys, and very excited here. Getting very far, thought I'd surge in, and I've literally just got 5k left on Araxxor before going into phase 4, and there's the Cleave Attack again. Very deadly attack, guys. You really have to get out of the way as soon as possible. You only actually have to click one space away from that and you will dodge it. Now, as you can see, I will soon be spamming. Hello, no, it's just took me out of the clip scene automatically, and again, I'm not sure whether this is supposed to happen. A way of getting out of that is obviously by spamming the restore or bruise, but I'm not sure whether that's supposed to happen. I'm not sure whether that's a glitch or not, but I've got Revolution on ready anyway, and now onto phase 4, the hardest phase in this Araxxor kill. Okay, the key here, guys, is just like as if you're doing Jad. Don't panic, guys. Stay chilled out. You know, you can do this. You know, it's a very hard phase, but practice makes perfect, guys. So make sure you've got your keybinds on, your prayer switches on your action bar. And I've got that on ENR, so they're basically next to each other. Try and use Anticipate as much as possible so you don't get dragged into Araxxor, and then just take it easy. Just prayer switch every time that attack changes. And as you can see, that's web ability. Be careful, I just used Bombardment, was able to flick on my shield and use Resonance, because that's what you want to be doing. You know, if you do accidentally hit Araxxor when he's in his web ability, when the web goes over him, he will reflect damage, remember that. So again, take it easy, maybe use a Death Swiftness at this point because you can take it a lot easier. Use Freedom, Anticipate as much as possible. Now, don't bother trying to run into the spotlight at this point. You know, when you've gone the outer pathway, you know, you will get that spotlight on this rotation of Araxxor. Don't bother to run in there, it's just a waste of your time. Just use your brews to slowly heal up. And again, because I used Anticipate there, I didn't actually get dragged in by Araxxor. So, you know, again, very, very helpful to use Anticipate and Freedom as often as possible. Starting to get Araxxor now, a much lower health. You'll notice when he gets to a certain amount of health, you'll see like a dark sort of black core which will be unleashed by ARAXXI, and this is deadly, and this is when you can essentially get KO and comboed when you're so close to killing ARAXXI, and that's what makes this boss so frustrating. Once you've got the prayer switching sorted, guys, and you know how to dodge the core, you're absolutely sorted. So ARAXXI unleashes a putrid acid wave, and this is the core I'm on about. This is like the Corp core, however, it's so much more deadlier. So as you saw there, I let it hit me once after it was jumping about 5 times. You let it hit you once, and then you move 1 step. As you can see now, oh, there's 1 step and I move away. So once you've moved away, try not to move around too much, otherwise it really can mess you up a little bit. Now as you saw there, I'm getting absolutely hit so much at the moment because I'm not concentrating on the prayer switches. It's so important to concentrate on those prayer switches. Spider leg bottom, guys, woo! I actually managed to get a spider leg bottom, guys, which is incredible. That's 1 of 3 leg pieces to make the whole spider leg, which you then can sell on the GE. Actually, I think that's going for like 800 to 900 mil or something ridiculous at the moment. Absolutely made up with that, and I'll probably start now going for the spider leg, the middle part of it now, at some point. There are also 3 additional components which you can attach 1 of each kind on a full spider leg, and that will create the brand new tier 90 two-handed weapons. Now, just a small tip for you all out there, those guys who want to practice the kills, you know, if you're in a range gear, then you want to be fighting Araxxor when he's in his magic attack stance. The reason for that, it does make it a lot easier. You can attack, deal more damage if you're ranging. Therefore, you can get one of your friends, let's say, to hold an instance with you. So you create the instance, they jump in, you start the kill, and then if Araxxi spawns in a melee form, you can just lobby and the instance will still be there because your friend's in there. Just make sure you log back into the same world, run out of the lair, run back in, and then join your friend's instance, which it will now be, and then you can jump back in and hopefully get a mage form of Araxxor, just to save you a couple of 100k here and there. Alright, so I'm going to end this video here. I hope you found it helpful. Good luck going for your Araxxor, or ARAXXI kills, should I say, and good luck going for those spider leg parts or the 3 components to make the level 90 tier two-handed weapons. Good luck, guys, enjoy, and let me know how you get on in the comment section.